We have to move away from selling our labor to commercializing our knowledge, as the other keynote speaker, and turned to me and said, this is a really hard audience, but at least we're all getting paid our £4,000. And this male literally spoke 2 PowerPoints for 25 minutes and completely killed the vibe.
Well, welcome to Spotlight Voices. My name is Natalia Nicholson. I'm your host, and I'm coming to you pretty much daily at the moment with all of our keynote speakers from the top 100 most powerful Black Women Summit. From the 23rd of March to the 27th of March, we're going to be coming to you daily from a studio in New York, where we're going to be streaming live to all of you globally. And we have got the most amazing, accomplished Black female entrepreneurs as speakers, And today I've got with me the wonderful Professor Laura Serrant. So Professor Laura, please do introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do. Welcome.
Hello, thank you, Natalia, and welcome to everybody who's listening. My name is Professor Laura Serrant, and I'm an inclusive practice and leadership development specialist. A bit my background. I have been a qualified nurse for 44 years, and I do a lot of my work around social justice and health. And my main, I suppose, focus of my leadership development work is to help women, particularly like myself, who may in their career have found themselves to be the first one, the only one, or the other one. That's a little bit about me.
And I think we can all resonate with that one. All of them, in fact. So when people hear your name, what do you want them to associate it with? Like, what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for making people realize, or helping women, Black women particularly, to accept that the very thing that made them stand out all those years is the essence of their power and difference.
Oh, I absolutely love that, because it's so funny. We focus more on our power of being accepting, of wanting to be accepted, rather than what our differences are, which actually is what makes us shine. I love the way that you position that. That's actually going to be one of my takeaways for today, because we don't do it naturally. And actually, our indifferences is what makes us special, what makes us stand out, and it's what makes us shine. So I absolutely love that. What is the work that you're most proud of right now?
Right now, I'm most proud of, for those that obviously we have a lot of international global listeners here, but you will know a little bit about the history of Black communities in the UK and the huge movement to England, particularly, that happened in the 1950s and just before, called the Windrush movement. And the Windrush generation were our ancestors who actually came by invitation from the British government after the Second World War.
By invitation.
Let's say by invitation. You know, we didn't. You know, they came and they asked us to come. That came by invitation following the Second World War to help rebuild the motherland, the country. Now, without going into too much detail, there have been various scandals and issues that have happened after the event and relatively recently, which have called into question the citizenship of many of the people and their descendants who helped rebuild the country. And finally, after many, many years, in Waterloo Station in London is something called the National Windrush Monument, which you can look up. And my proudest moment is that on the National Windrush Monument, which commemorates the contribution of our communities, our families and our ancestors and my parents to the UK, is a poem. And that poem was written by me. And that poem is entitled, "You Called and We Came."
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. Because as you know, my parents are from the Windrush generation, so I'm second generation. And, you know, some of us came to the UK, but some of us also went to America. I know I've grown up being spending a lot of time with family in America, being here in the UK. And it really all came from that 1950s period of us being, like you said, being invited And I love that. It's the fact that we were invited. It wasn't like we said, oh, right, we want to get there. And we thought it was an extension of a better life. And things are very different. And I love the way how you framed it for our global audience. For those of you that aren't familiar or aware of the Windrush, it is something that you should really look up. Even the summit, we are sponsored by Irie Jam FM. They are a Caribbean radio station, Jamaican, but really the people that listen to it are all from the diaspora. This is the Atlantic slave trade playing out in history right now, and the fact that we have someone from the summit that is so connected to that, and I'm looking forward this summer. I take my kids to Waterloo quite often. I love the embankment and I love hanging around in that area. Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure that I show them who you are. And I'm gonna show them the keynote that you did and say, this lady wrote this poem.
Yes, it's interesting, Natalia, because since the memorial was revealed, and it was actually designed by a Jamaican sculptor as well. Since it was revealed, I keep getting people on my Instagram sending me random pictures of them outside the picture going, I'm here. So
I do get it.
Anybody listening who, wherever you are in the world, if you visit the London and go to Waterloo Station, you can't miss the statue because it's huge. Please feel free to, populate. And
where will they tag you? Because I'm going to tag you and we go. We're
going to be like, and tag Natalia and go, we're here at the memorial statue. We could perhaps do a montage. By that time.
That would be brilliant. So remember that. Make sure that you look Professor Laura up and make sure that you tag her when you get there, because I'll definitely be doing it this summer, and I'll make sure I share it with the community. One of the questions that I've been asking a lot, and I love the answers that we've been getting, is what is the moment that really shaped the woman that you are today as a leader?
I think the moment that shaped me as a woman and as a leader was it wasn't so much a conversation as more as an experience. Okay. I had been doing keynote speaking for quite a while, and as I said, I am a nurse, and I was invited to give a keynote speech at one of the national healthcare conferences. I was really pleased. I was so excited because they paid for my travel and put me in a nice hotel. I mean, this is, for me, this was a big thing. Huge, arena audience. And I got up and gave my speech. I didn't mind. I didn't ask for a fee. I was just really pleased to be funded to go. I gave my presentation. It went down really well, got a standing ovation, really, really good. And I sat down. I was really pleased with myself. And I was followed by a male of the usual descriptor, should I say. And this male literally spoke 2 PowerPoints for 25 minutes and completely killed the vibe. And half of his PowerPoint, he started by saying, you won't be able to read this, but I've just put it up there anyway. Literally the room just was the vibe was killed, fell flat. And I was sitting there thinking, what is this? He then came off the stage, sat down next to me as the other keynote speaker, and turned to me and said, this is a really hard audience, but at least we're all getting paid our £4,000.
Wow.
And at that moment, I thought, what on earth am I doing?
Yeah.
I am doing, there's a really good friend of mine called Stacey Johnson, Professor Stacey Johnson. She's Trinidadian. And she once said to me, and at that moment, her words came back to me. And the words she said, and I'll share with everybody here, is, we have to move away from selling our labor to commercializing our knowledge.
That's really strong. That is really strong. And I feel like myself and most of the women in this community, Laura, will resonate with you on that. That was one of the reasons why I left doing what I was doing. I just got tired of being paid less, being valued less, never even sometimes even getting a thank you, but yet being relied upon so heavily for the sake of moving somebody else's greed and organization forward that actually doesn't serve people. And it's and this is one of the reasons when we spoke, I remember you telling me that story, and I connected to it so much because it was one of the reasons why I actually left consultancy. I found out how many people were getting paid more than me. People were bringing, people they were connected in. I'm having to train them. I'm always being told, oh, it's coming. And it just gets to a stage where you get to a breaking point. And I always say it's like having a bad boyfriend that abuses you constantly, and then you keep going back. And you're outside this door as like waiting, like you want to be let into this VIP area, and they open the door and they only usher one or two in, and they slam the door in your face. And for some reason, you're still out there. And a point comes for all of us where you're like, I'm done. So Professor Laura, next, when you hear most powerful Black woman, what does that actually mean to you?
When I hear most powerful Black woman, what that means to me is being able to stand in the power of who you are and your essence, unapologetically you, but with a clear sense of purpose, intention, and personal value.
I love that as well. And sometimes I feel like we can get confused between influence and power. For you, what would you say the difference between the two is?
Influence for me and power, the difference between those two things, they're quite interesting, actually. Years ago, when I was a lot younger, I thought that one was almost interchangeable with the other. But actually, what I think now, in my experience, is that power and influence are kind of two ways in which we actually evidence or demonstrate, who we are. So influence is an external thing for me. What you do, what you feel, how you contribute to the world makes a difference to other people. And power is something, it's like an internal energy, which is generated and built and can be diminished based on your thoughts about yourself, your actions, and what you're able to do or not do. And the more we're able to live and contribute in the ways we want to the world and to ourselves, the greater power we have. And that's not linked to a job role or what somebody else decides to call you or titles or anything else.
Definitely. And one of the things I love about your story the most is that I feel like you took your power back.
Yes.
When you was when you was on that stage and you thought, you know what, I'm not doing this no more, you took your power back. And one of the things about taking your power back is ownership, because you get to take ownership of yourself back.
Yes.
And what does ownership look like in your world right now?
Ownership for me in my world is an inner calm. It's a stillness. Ownership is knowing that everything that I have and everything that I am and everything that I've done is 100% completely in my control. And I can choose to share or not share. And that's what ownership means to me. It's very much a kind of personal recognition of, I suppose, the life I've traveled so far and what's yet to come. And it's my gift. So if I gift you time, I gift you my experience, I gift you my knowledge. And, it's given freely or not at all.
Yeah. I absolutely love that, because it's funny. Sometimes when we talk about ownership, we talk about materialism things, tangible things. We don't often think about it from the viewpoint of, what that is internally, and exactly what you said, you're given as a gift. One of the things as I get older is that time is something that you just can't get back. I love the way that you framed it as a gift. That's powerful for me. And it is, you're gifted.
Well, the reality is, Natalia, as we've spoken previously, every single one of us who is on Earth at this moment in time has 168 hours in a week. Nobody from kings to paupers has any less or any more time. So all that's what we have to gift to ourselves and to other people. And that includes things like sleep and rest and energy and recuperation. It's not just about work. So therefore, even if I gift you 1 minute of my time, that's 1 minute less I have to do something else with.
Yeah. Yeah, you giving me a lot of food for thought on that one, because I'm always stretching. No, I am. I'm always stretching the time that I've got between business, the kids, and family. And actually, sometimes you do have to be mindful as well of other people's time. Just because you haven't got enough time, you can actually impact others. So you've made me check myself, just to let you know. And anybody else listening that you're being checked right now, check in a good way. Is it a good way?
There is no more time. I think it was. I think I was listening to Stephen Bartlett, and he was saying about there's no more time. There are only priorities, and that struck me, because actually, as I said, if we've all got the 168 hours, then it's what we choose to do with that time. It's nothing more. It's
well, for everyone listening, I don't know if you've had any lessons yet, but I'm surely getting some today. I'm surely getting some.
There is no more.
I think you are a ball of wisdom. You're slowly, for me, becoming the oracle. Well, it's going to be a new name for you. Well, at this stage, and having just passed my into my sixth decade, I've moved into my Empress phase. We're forgetting the Queen at the moment. I'm moving into Empress phase now, so that maybe is. I don't know if I'm quite oracle, but yeah. Well, like I said, you're giving me some nuggets today. That's for sure. Next question: what narrative about Black women are you committed to changing through your work?
Through my work, and certainly through my speaking, I'm committed to changing the narrative that says Black women were not meant to lead.
I absolutely love that. And it's a great segue into the next question, actually. What do you think Black women deserve more of in rooms that make decisions?
If you don't mind, I'm going to switch the question a little bit. Okay.
Oh, no, I love it. See, the oracle at work.
A switch. Just a little pivot. Rather than thinking about what Black women deserve more of in rooms where decisions are made, okay, I would like to just switch it a little bit to say, what would Black women contribute more to rooms in which decisions were made? Because if we start from what I'd said about ownership as an internal thing, then I'm not waiting for someone to invite me to take space. Do you see what I mean? It's like
I get exactly what you mean.
In every kind of, if we think about business, and it doesn't matter what kind of business we're talking about, whether we're talking about I suppose public service business, so education sector, things like that, or we're talking about private corporate businesses and things of that nature. It's all about making a case. So space is about making a case. And sometimes you make the case for yourself, or sometimes you make that business case for someone else outside. So we need to be able to make our business case for being in that room, for adding what we add and giving our contributions so that things can change. So it's not about what do we need more of from other people, but what do we need to claim more of for ourselves? Because fundamentally, if you deliver a bit, we have to be able to make our own case.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when we're in a room, what happens is we get invited into a room just for being a woman and then being Black, almost like a tick box, and then it's easy to get ignored in the room. So I guess it's about finding your own voice and having to find a style of communication to make yourself be heard.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And we don't get invited. We're just sitting there, and we're invited for the contribution that we've got.
Absolutely. And that, and let's just get this clear, is that fundamentally, especially in business or in any organization, just by being there, we make them look good. Yeah. And so, but we have to see that so that we can then say, okay, no one's going to, dismiss your contribution where it doesn't benefit the organization or, whoever, whatever the thing is. So that's why we have to make our own business case. And I think sometimes the first thing is making your business case to yourself. And, which is why, I focus on the things that I will be focusing on in in the during the conference summit, because it's that leadership from the margins. And when I say from the margins, I don't mean on the outside waiting to be invited in. I mean that makes it different, unique, but actually differently impactful. And that's the case that we have to make, rather than waiting for somebody to discover it.
I love it. And a lot of us do need help with that, Professor Laura. We do. Because sometimes you've been banging on the door so loud and waiting to get in that when you're in, it's that feeling of, oh my gosh, what now? It's almost like
exactly.
The obstacle was just like kind of getting into the space, and that was such a big thing. It's like when you get there, you've now got to think even more strategically than you ever have before once you're in. So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
And what challenge have you faced that people would never have guessed?
I think possibly, if you kind of see me now, the challenge of confidence. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't mean absolutely, but it's not confidence about your abilities in the way that people think about confidence. It's the confidence to own the abilities that you have and actually step forward and go, I can do this, and showcase them. Because, we've all, well, certainly I have, and I'm sure many other you have and other people have. We're kind of sold this myth that actually, good, strong women are quiet, they're humble, they don't shout, they don't, they don't parade their abilities. And actually, there's something that grace is about quietness and stillness, and it's actually about, like I say, not showing off, I suppose, and not saying anything that will make someone else feel less than or smaller. And what that confuses with not talking about your abilities. So when I talk about confidence, I mean confidence to actually stand in what you already have, and stand in your essence, and stand in your ownership of your own abilities. So that's what I mean. So it's taken a while to actually, even, we see here where we're in this talk, and, I have my title here on the thing. You don't know how long I had the title, of a full professor with all the bits and pieces, and never put it on show.
Wow.
So it wasn't about not thinking I owned it. It was actually about turning it round externally and saying, this is who I am.
Yeah. And for many of us as well, it's a part of our blueprint as Black female entrepreneurs, the way we've been brought up to be like, your skills and your gifts should show for itself, don't brag, don't be boasty. There's a lot of things when I think about, even if it's down to children should be seen and not heard. And there's something about in our blueprint where it's very much keep your head down, don't be boasty, don't speak up, just do your best. It will be seen. And when that is programmed and installed into you, that's actually I know I've struggled with that blueprint to break away from it. And as I've broken away from it, my confidence has kicked in. I've become much more outspoken.
Absolutely. As I said, the kind of confidence I'm talking about is not anything to do with like imposter syndrome, anything like that. We know who we are, we know what we can do. But actually, the confidence to stand and make sure everybody else knows there's a little pivot, there's a different shift that's required there.
I love it. And as we wrap up today's session, if a brilliant Black woman was building her own business or platform right now, what would you tell her to focus on?
I would say the first thing is about recognizing yourself and your own humanity and owning who you are. That's the most important thing. Because it's going to be a rough ride, things change, things become easy, you have hard days. And the one solid thing you have is yourself.
Yeah. And I think you drew on it already today. You used the word pivot. When I asked you the question, it's like, I'm going to pivot it. You have to be in that mode of being able to recognize and trust yourself and be able to pivot.
Absolutely.
I have to say, many people talk about leadership, and sometimes I think over the years, leadership can very much be related in more of a corporate world and corporate environment when we think of the word leadership. Throughout this interview, I have felt the power in your words. of really being able to check who you are inside as an individual. And I think one of the biggest messages I've got, even hosting this podcast, is that your leadership and your power starts from within. If you can't
100%.
get it from within, you've got to be able to take control of yourself and be able to lead from the inwards, outwards.
Absolutely. That's
one of the common things that, to the point that, I definitely say you've made me check myself. Empress, Queen, Sage, our Oracle of Wisdom. There's just something about even your pace and your tone and the kindness, but authoritativeness in it as well. And I'm sure everybody listening picked up on it as well. You are going to be in for a treat at the summit. So Professor Laura, what will you be covering in your keynote? What will be, not without giving too much away, what will be some of the key takeaways that women can expect from your takeaway at the summit?
From the keynote at the summit, I think there's a couple of key things, really. Firstly, what I really want is people to be able to leave knowing that the very thing that they maybe possibly have hidden or played down over time, their difference, is absolutely central to their power and their ownership. And it's how we can make the case almost to ourselves first that leadership from the margins, the first one, the only one, or the other one, is absolutely the thing we should run with first.
Love it. We've gone full circle from where we started. So quick fire round, and then, sorry, ladies, we've got to come to an end. So I'm going to say a sentence and I just want you to finish it. So my power increases when I
am unapologetically me.
Oh, love it. One belief Black women must release to rise faster is
we were not meant to lead.
And one thing I want Black women to remember about their voice is
it's different because it was meant to be different.
Absolutely love it. Professor Laura, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Anybody that, here listening, make sure that you get a ticket to the event. Make sure when you get the schedule, you look Professor Laura up, because as you can hear today, you are a beam of wisdom. And what you're going to learn from the keynote and be able to take away is life-changing. These are, you can see it already. She's going to check you into success.
Yeah, that's right.
She's going to check you into success. She's going to really make you look deep within to make sure the best version of you comes out. So make sure you attend, make sure you look her up. And Professor Laura, just quickly, where can our audience find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Laura Serrant. I'm still the only person with my name on the internet up to now, so you can find me. And also on our website, lauraserrant.com.
Brilliant. Everyone, we look forward to seeing you at the summit. We cannot wait. 23rd of March to the 27th of March. It's just going to be a week of just uplifting power, inspiration and motivation. Professor Laura, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you at the summit. Take care. Bye-bye.
I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.